The broadcast is live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Winter Nonepub 2021, the secondest Nonepub ever. Um, this, again, is the follow up to the welcome panel that we had back in the fall, which Rachel did a great job on. My phone decided it didn't want to be part of the panel anymore. And Rachel, you just rocked and rolled. So we're moving forward here. We're adding Tam just in case of anything else. And also, Tam's got some cool stuff he's going to show us later on in the panel. Um, but again, just want to welcome everybody to Nonepub. You know, it's been a crazy year with all this. We were supposed to have Nonepub 10 back in 2020. Didn't happen, so we ended up having Nonepub in the fall. Looks like we're probably not going to have, conventions this year, or if we do, they're going to be way later. So we wanted to take the opportunity to have another one of these shows, and that's what this is for. This is so that we can have another one of these shows. And so we just want to, thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being a part of the event. It's just awesome that you're here. It's awesome that we have everything going on. So one of the games that Rachel and I played in the past on the last show is a game called Trust Issues. What it is it's just a joke that you take a bunch of different M&M's flavors, you throw them in a bowl together at a party or something, and then throw in a handful of Skittles without telling anybody. So we've adapted that into having weird snacks during the event, during this panel, and so we're going to continue that tradition. And I have my bowl full of right and left or backwards M&Ms. I've got 7 different flavors in here, including the new key lime pie ones. So we'll see how that goes because I am drawing blind.
Yeah.
Rachel, what snacks do you have?
So I've got 10 different flavors of Mike and Ike's, Good and Plenty's, and then also hot tamales. It's going to be awful.
Tim,
Also, this is Violet.
Snacks?
Ben, you disappeared.
Yep. Come back.
I feel like I curse you every time we're on a call together. It's got to be me.
No, I was messing with the volume, and it's my fault. I hit the power button.
Okay.
So yeah, if it's the worst thing that happened to this at Nonepub, we win. Ken, did you have any snacks?
I do. I wasn't prepared, but I have my where is it? My spicy plantain chips.
Ooh, nice.
That I eat all the time. Probably my stomach is not very pleased with it, but they're delicious.
So for trust issues, all you have to do is throw some regular banana chips in there, and you'll be disappointed every time you get the sweet banana chips instead of the delicious plantain chips.
Yeah, you just get disappointment instead of a sour surprise.
Yeah.
Or a hot tamale. So that's trust issues. It's just a thing to play because, what is a game day? What is a game convention without snacks? And so this is just our way of kind of bringing that in. Want to speak to the amazing reach that the show has this year. We try to make sure that we, being a global or being an online convention, we have the opportunity to include people that couldn't necessarily travel to an Unpub show in Baltimore, and we see that in that we've got people from the U.S. on as designers on our panels. We got people from Canada, we got people from the U.K., the Dominican Republic, Australia, New Zealand, and Nigeria, and all these people are able to attend because of the magic of the internet. They're able to help share their experience and share their creations with all of us, and I think that's awesome that they're able to do that, and we're able to help provide that for them. 2 of the panels that I think are really awesome that I'm really excited for. We have Casey and Femi from Nibcard Games. They're a publishing outfit in Nigeria, and they're going to speak Sunday morning about the experience they've had, the realities of designing and publishing and creating content in Nigeria, helping grow that base of gamers and whatnot. And we also have a panel of some young shy tech designers. I mean, there's kids as young as 10 that are going to be speaking Saturday morning about their experience and talking about their games. And I think it's cool that we can add those elements and give them that opportunity that they wouldn't have had during the live show. So did you guys have any feedback on that or anything you were excited for in that regard?
I'm really excited for the kids. I think that's going to be a fun. I don't talk to kids in my normal life, so I don't know what they think about games. I'm excited.
How about you, Tam? Is there anything that jumped out at you?
Oh, we have no sound.
Tam, you have no sound.
Of
There we
course, I
go.
muted my mic. But I was saying that I'm really excited about the kids as well because I teach game design for kids to kids, digital game design. So this is going to be a treat.
I think it's they wouldn't necessarily be able to be at the live show or at a convention setting, but the fact that we were able to reach out because of some connections that we have with some of the people in the group, it just was awesome, and it was just a great thing to do. Um, the other exciting thing we're doing this year is our keynote is actually going to be a roundtable at this show. I actually just finished a panel with T. Kyres from Haba, and they helped us put together a panel that we could have a roundtable for the keynote this year. They're going to be joined by Tessa Elise, Eric Yurko, Danny Lowe, Daniel Zayas, to all give their experience, and kind of give some feedback and give us their expertise. And that's all going to be moderated by Benita Kaur. So I think that's awesome that we have a roundtable in that regard and just help spread the love and get a wealth of experience all in one panel from content creators and publishers, from marketing people and from designers. So I think that's really cool. One of the things that, when we did this show back in August, we just did it with the badges. We didn't really have any sponsors per se. We didn't reach out to sponsors because we weren't sure what the show was going to look like and how the show was going to run. So it wasn't something that we were sure would make sense. But we actually did add sponsors. We reached out and we had an amazing amount of support and feedback from the community. We have Breaking Games is sponsoring the entire event this year and for this show. Floodgate Games is sponsoring Feedback Frenzy. That's going to happen Saturday night. It's a great event. We're going to have designers showing off their games, basically pitching them to a round of judges. A non-infringing panel judge type show with feedback, of course. Pandasaurus sponsored our speed pitching, which took place tonight. We had a couple different rounds of designers going through a speed pitching process with publishers to get feedback and whatnot. And I think it's a great tool that, again, because we're not at conventions, we can offer that virtual experience. Again, Haba sponsored the game jam that we've got going on this weekend. We just had the welcome panel for that. And the kickoff for that, some bits were sent out to teams of designers that in some cases are doing this remotely. And so we've got a couple different things going on, and then they can present their games on Sunday to some I don't want to call them judges, but some industry professionals for feedback in that environment. I think is going to be great. And it's just a way to have a fun experience. So you might have just played some pitch tag or some idea things during the course of the convention. And so I think that's awesome that they've got that going on. We've actually got some of the Nonepub team is after this at 10 o'clock is going to be running they're going to be running through the game jam with the bits and whatnot. So I think that's kind of awesome too. And then Talon Strikes announced a game design contest where they had given a theme, and they had basically made it like an open, where it's like each bit that you used, if you used a wooden cube, it was worth 1 point. Used a die, it was worth 5 points, and everybody had so many points to use to make the game. And so they had people pitch that to them, and we're actually going to show their finals judging on Sunday as well. So just different things that we can do online that we couldn't have done at a regular show. So, what else are you looking forward to besides the panels?
With the game jam, you said everybody received some parts in the mail. Is it everybody's working with the same parts, or is it like each team has different parts?
So Haba mailed Heather O'Neill a 20-pound box of bits, like the style that they would use for the game design contest that they run in the summer. And normally when they send those out to designers, those go out and it's really just whatever you get's what you get. But Heather O'Neill took that box of bits and separated it out to try to make sure everybody got as close as possible the exact same things. Like she put a lot of work. She's put a lot of work into the show overall, and I am glad that she's here. I'm glad that we have a great team, including all of you, to make this show happen. But yeah, she was just things like that you wouldn't think of. Oh, I want to make sure they all have the same things. I want to make sure that this happens. It's great to see. So they all got the same things, and they actually have a set. Heather's actually participating in the Unpub Game Jam later.
Awesome.
That's going on after this. Yeah, there's just we're trying to find ways to take all those things that happen in a convention and bring them into the regular event. And that one's peanut butter, so that's a good one. I'll take that one.
Mine have been all fruit so far, and so I'm nervous. Like statistically, that can't keep happening.
No, you're gonna hit something disappointing eventually. Mm-hmm. Have you been disappointed yet in your plantains, Tam?
No, I mean,
no
my
surprises
mouth is
in there.
burning, but it's a good burn.
Okay. So we also we ran the event in the fall. It was a new event, like I said. We didn't know what we were doing. We were just kind of let's see what we can bring the Unpub experience online, and we learned a lot during that event. Mm-hmm. I know Rachel, you were involved in that. Pam was a part of that. So we just learned a lot. We tried to change that. We tried to make some changes to that too. One of the biggest complaints we got during the event was that reserve block designers were missing all the panels.
Yeah. They
were really upset about that. And we have all those panels, and we still haven't put them up online but I have them sitting on a drive right there.
Yeah.
Where nobody
They'll be up
see.
On YouTube someday.
They'll be up on YouTube. Well, now that we've got some of that worked out, they're going to be up on YouTube faster than they would have. Mm-hmm. Again, because we've got a great team and we've got a technomancer now. We've just got a great team that can help just get stuff done, and I'm so appreciative of that. But one of the things, again, separating those out so people can watch the panels and then do blocks.
Yeah.
And that's something we did at the live show. The live show, the panels would happen on Thursday and Friday before the blocks opened up. So the panels were part of that designer day, and we tried to replicate that. We thought we wanted to have more panels, so we just kind of crossed them over. And we're not doing that this time. The panels are going to run till 3:30, and then the blocks start from 4 to 9 each day. And that's the other thing is we only have 3 blocks. We extended each one of them an hour because we wanted to give more time to that rather than having 2 blocks and trying to cram stuff together. As a designer, Tam, can you get more play testing in 5 hours than 4 hours? Like, do you think it'd make a difference for the designers?
Well, yeah, and also the fact that we are doing it from home makes it a little bit easier. It's easier to go out and get a snack, or go to the kitchen and get a snack, or go to the bathroom, where in a typical con, you might be stuck in the playtest hall for hours, and that's can get very tiring.
Especially if you're, one of those Iron Man designers who buys all 4 blocks and then is just like sitting at that table from the time you get there and then you're like, wait, I should get a dinner, and it's 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Yeah, I think as a online convention, I think that is one of the benefits is that you can sit at home and do stuff. I mean, I can go sit on my couch and watch the Twitch stream and keep an eye on the Discord and things like that. I miss the people. I miss holding court. That's the thing I love most about a convention is holding court.
Yeah.
And this, like panels like this and doing Twitch and Twitter, it helps, but it's still not the same for me.
No.
Is sitting
you're not throwing M&Ms trying to get them in my mouth right now.
Well, I wouldn't do that anyway because then we waste them on the floor for the most part because I have no hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that. I mean, family dinner is not the same when we're all not together. All those types of things. The random, hey, let's go do this. It's 2:00 in the morning, but who cares? That's the when it's over, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's difficult to get into crazy shenanigans over Zoom. I guess you could, but
well, I'm hoping, we expanded to 3 After Dark panels.
It's true.
And tonight's After Dark panel is actually slap a theme on it, where some industry people are going to take games and just change the themes and see what happens. And I fully expect shenaniganery to happen during that panel.
Yeah.
So what
Especially
is
with the
this
people
after
that are on that
dark
panel.
thing anyway, Ben? What
that?
is it? What is this after dark thing?
So one of the things that we can do online is we can do after dark, which might be a panel that's not fit for daytime, that we wouldn't be able to do during the day. In Unpub in the fall, we had F 2020, which was just people speaking to their experience in 2020, and how they had to change and how they had to, but being able to do it in a way that their language would allow them to be appropriately angry or whatever the case is.
Uh-huh.
We also had a panel about ensuring sex positivity in your games, which I think was a panel that we probably wouldn't have at our live show, because our live show isn't necessarily geared towards that professional thing up to this point and towards that professional development. And I think we had that opportunity. But the idea behind After Dark is it's the things that you wouldn't necessarily bring your kid to. But it allows people to be free, and it allows people that feel the need or the desire to express themselves in that way, the channel to do so, which I think is very, very important. That, like we spoke about the opportunities for geography, being online, there's opportunities for some of these other, content related things maybe that we couldn't have done otherwise or didn't do. Nice. I have brownie M&M's stuck in my tooth.
I just got a cinnamon one, and it was very surprising. We are currently being shenaniganed, by the way.
Oh yeah, because it's Chris.
Yeah.
And Chris is actually on the shenanigans panel later. So that's he's getting ready for it. I expect an Atlar funny sometime soon, and that just goes back to a game that Heather had designed a while ago. That is one of those I've only ever played it After Dark. I've never played it as part of a regular play test. It's always, hey, you got to come do this. You got to come do this. And so I expect that to be, you want to have that mentality or that attitude where you're hanging out at the convention kind of after hours. And that's what After Dark's trying to bring in, Tam.
Yeah.
For a long 3-minute explanation to get back to that stuff you do after the show's over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what can we do to have that in this environment? So
it's also stuff that we maybe don't put on YouTube later because it's a little too shenanigan-y.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
kind of the Vegas of Nonepub.
But that opportunity to have that panel today came because we went to that one block instead of having 2 blocks today. Having that one block just changed the time up. Again, our panels are starting earlier in the morning compared to last year, but I think it's going to be beneficial overall because everybody can participate in everything. One of the things that's really cool about Unpub, or that we like to give our playtesters, they come for free at the live show. And we were able to do that for this convention too, that we hadn't done before. We charged for the badge last fall because we just were trying to figure it all out. And we didn't get as many playtesters as we had hoped for. So we opened it up. We're just, we want you there. We want you to be there. And as part of that, at the live show, we've always received donations from publishers for raffle prizes. So if somebody's giving feedback on games to the designer, if they can get that feedback later, but they're entered into a raffle to win a game while they're at the show. And so we've actually brought that into this show. So this will be the first Nonepub where we're having a feedback raffle. So there's actually in the Discord, there is a channel that has all of this information, but you want to make sure that you're in that channel. You're finding the raffle channel. It's the playtest raffle channel, and it has a link to a Google form that you're going to fill out, that you're going to list what block you played in, your name, and some other information. The more every time you play test a game, get feedback, you can put an entry in. If you're in block A and you play test 3 or 4 different games, you get 3 or 4 different entries. We want to encourage you to play test and give that feedback to the designers, because we want the designers to help make their games better. And that's what we're all about. We help build better board games together. And so that raffle prize just helps, thank you for that as a play tester. And so we'll be, after the show, we will be using that form to draw the winners, and we'll be reaching them to facilitate getting those games to them, the raffle prizes that we have. We've been sitting on them, hoping we would have a live show, and this is a thing we can do with them rather than them sitting in my back room.
It's true.
So that's what we're going to be doing.
What kind of prizes do you have this year, Ben? I remember winning one of the prizes in one of the Nonepub events, and it was awesome. It was one of my favorite games.
I actually, I won. What did I win? I won Samara one year from games, and I've enjoyed my plays of that. The first game I ever won was from Crash Games, from Patrick Nickel at Unpub 4, when it was back still in the church cafeteria, the church school cafeteria in Delaware. I don't remember what it was, but it was. I remember that my one comment was, "Oh, I already own a copy," and then I realized that I shouldn't have said that out loud, because I saw the look on Daryl's face as soon as I said it. Because back then, they actually pulled your name out and they were like, "Ben, you won this. Susie, you won this." And I was like, Mother Hubbard, I shouldn't have said that. But it was awesome to get that feeling. And so, we're trying to add that here. And I know you asked that question, and if you give me, if I had time, I'd go find it. I actually have a Google Doc with all the games in it. But, we've got games from publishers like Renegade. We've got copies of games from AEG. We've got games from all the publishers that have offered them to us. Pandasaurus has given us copies of things. So we're just going to use those to thank everybody. I can run down a list. I've got it.
I remember the year that I won one of those raffles. I had a few choices in games, and you probably remember this. Like, I slaved like 10 minutes over which one do I take, and I went back and forth, and finally I picked Gankimono, which is a abstract strategy game, Japanese theme. It's one of my favorite. Really, simple game to learn, but very deep in terms of strategy.
Mm-hmm. And that was a great feeling for you, right? To have won that prize.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. We're thanking you for giving feedback. And designers, if you are here and you have a reserve block, but you're playing games in the other blocks, you are still eligible during those blocks. If you're playtesting a game and giving feedback to the designer, you are eligible to win a raffle prize. You don't have to say, "Oh, I'm a designer, I'm not a playtester." You're both if you're acting as a playtester. And no, John, the prize is not a $5 Wawa gift card in this case.
All of them.
That's a different prize.
That's all the prizes.
Yes, you're going to get a game and a $5 Wawa gift card. We're just going to throw them in button-shy wallets and send them out to people.
How are you going to get them to the winners?
We're gonna mail them.
Okay.
We're going to mail them. Thanks, sponsors. No, there's a cost involved in that, right? There's a cost involved in shipping, but we feel it's important, and I say we, even counting us three, that we want to find a way to reward these people and thank them for the help that they've given. So that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to actually mail these games out. I can walk to my post office, not that I want to in January, but I can. So it's close enough that I can walk there and we can get these games out.
Yeah.
So the plan is we will give, much to your point, Tam, where you said you had to agonize over a couple choices. That's how we're going to present it, because I wouldn't want to give a list and have 3 or 4 people pick the same game and a copy of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to give somebody a list of 3 or 4 and have them pick one of those 3 or 4, and that's what we'll send out to them. I think that's going to be the best logical way to do it in this case. So
nice. Well, I've definitely told. Well, one of the good things about having a virtual con is it's global, and I've definitely told some of my game designers back home in Asia. So,
Are they coming? Are they going to show up? Are they going to play test your games?
Hopefully they'll come.
Tried?
Hopefully they'll come. It's there are 12 hour difference, so there's that challenge. But
just in time for breakfast.
Yeah.
They could do the after dark panels over breakfast.
Yeah.
That's why the Nigerian panel is happening at 9 a.m. on Sundays, because they're 6 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, time zones are still a thing, even within the U.S. and North America. We can't, a noon panel for us, it's great. It's lunch. I'm going to grab a sandwich or whatever. For the West Coasters, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. They've just had their coffee on a Saturday. So it is kind of a challenge to get those panels all worked out, but we have a Heather.
Mm-hmm.
And she rocks.
Yeah. Heather is great. I mean, I'm somewhat new to conventions, helping out with conventions, and I think this is probably the second one. And she's been so helpful in getting me on board and helping me play test the stuff. Not play test, but test the technology that we're introducing here and all that. So yeah, go Heather.
Tim, I mentioned it earlier, but you're here. You're with Nonepub as the technomancer. Like that's we told you, what role do you fill, and you can pick your own title. Nobody wants to be IT. Nobody wants to be the treasurer when they can be the counselor of coin. Nobody wants to be the president when they can be the mayor. You know what I mean? So we've all picked our roles, picked our titles, and just even within, I've watched the Discord that we used in the fall just grow and change and be modified. With you building on the work that others have done and working with them on it.
It's so
and
nice.
Even between like Saturday and yesterday when we had our final call run through, just so much has been done, and it's just awesome to have somebody with the skills to do that and the confidence to do that, and just to be like, okay, this is what needs to get done, I'm going to get it done, and just to see how far we've come. Because at the first show and until and even Monday morning, our program was a Google Doc.
Mm-hmm.
With Google Sheet for information. So it was a lot of information. It was a lot of scrolling. And I want you to show everybody now. We're going to take some time and talk about some of the work you've done to change that we're going to be using moving forward. So.
Sure. So I got the idea at that con that I was helping with DexCon, and they had the similar thing where we have all this data in a spreadsheet, and it's really difficult to find things. And I thought about creating a simple program to which looks kind of like if you go to a convention or an expo, you have these little very simplified calendars that you see outside the rooms of what's showing, what's currently happening, and what's happening next in that room. So I was taking that, and I wanted to create something like that. And we did a version for DexCon, but one of the changes that we are doing for this convention is making the data live, where you can edit the spreadsheet. You can still have that spreadsheet because spreadsheets are good for the power users, where you can change a lot of things at once and you can see all of it at once, but it may not be very pretty, but that gives us a power of editing. But we can take that data from the spreadsheets and output it to a pretty looking, easy to view page for everybody. So let me share my screen. So if you, on the left, this is the spreadsheet that we are using internally. And this is shared between all the members here and also with the designers. You can see all the events that are happening. So right now, we are here. And on the right, this is the page that everybody will see. So it shows what's happening now and what's coming up next. Very simple concept. But the fun thing is everything is live. So if I change, let's say, all right, I should be in there. I'm there. Now I just refresh this. And if everything works, oh no. That's a problem with this. Of course, everything breaks in a demo, but there we go.
There it is.
There we are. All right, so
That is slick.
yeah, and it makes it super easy to maintain things. And so the location determines where it is. If it's for playtesting, we have it in tables. So if I look at tomorrow's events, something is happening with my machine. I need to.
So the users
eventually
are going to see the
come up,
spreadsheet.
but,
They're going to see. We're going to send them to this website.
Right.
See, I'll fill some time while it's reloading.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll show panels that are live. It'll show panels that are coming up. It's going to show all the games in the current block in a much easier, more digestible format for the user.
Normally it doesn't take this long. I think it's something is wrong.
I know
with
it doesn't because I was playing with it all day yesterday.
It might be that everybody's looking at it right now.
I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's even that. I've had some DNS routing issues on this computer, and I think it's just having a tough time finding the page. But I'll go ahead and talk a little bit more about the spreadsheet. So this is also to help the volunteers who may be maintaining the spreadsheet as well. So the game designers who come will have access to the spreadsheet, and that's where they can change the name the game. They can add comments or whatnot. There's also status, which you can set. So if you're looking for players, you can set it to that, or if the game is running, you can set it to that status. So let's say this is Roscoe's game, which is on table 1. Sorry, on the block B. Oh, this is block B. Never mind.
So you have to go to the next day for block B.
Of course, it'll do this thing again. Anyway, so it'll show up. The status will update automatically, and it'll show that you're looking for players. There are other fields that you would want to be aware of as well. There's count and capacity. If you're looking for, let's say, 4 players and you currently have 2 players in your game, then it'll show up there. If you have a link to like photos or a cell sheet or something, some documentation, rules perhaps, you can put it here. I can say it's this link is to view, and I can cut and paste a URL there, and it'll show up on the schedule. So this section is all for the reserved blocks, and below that is a section for open games. So if you during the open gaming period, that's where you would enter your games. You just have to make sure that you enter the date and time correctly. This is Eastern time, which is what the convention is running on. Also, the date and time that you see up here is the convention time. I had some fun challenge of trying to make sure that the time zones work. So if you're looking at this from Nigeria, you want to make sure that you're seeing the correct events that are happening. So hopefully that works and you're able to see it. So yeah, give it a shot. If you see any problems or any ideas of how to improve this, let me know. I'm probably going to be tweaking this code as the con goes. And yeah, I'm looking to see how it will work.
And, the convention as a whole, Unpub as a whole has always been a playtesting. Like, we've been playtesting the show, so we're just playtesting these new opportunities that we can share and we can use in the future.
It's true.
The raffle that Ben was talking about, let's say you play test this game. Afterwards, just click on that raffle thing and it'll take you to the form where you can fill it in.
Or you can just go,
awesome.
And the form link is also in the playtest raffle channel in the playtesting lobby group.
All right, back to you.
Awesome. So how much time have you spent on that, Tam?
I was calculating that probably a little bit over a week.
But it's going to make things
easier
for everybody moving on, right?
Yeah, and I hope we can use this for future cons, and I have some ideas of adding more features to it to help with conventions in general. So yeah, I hope it'll grow into something that it'll be helpful for everybody.
I got to tell you, I did have a dream last night, and I woke up at 2:30 because I had to fly back here. Dream, but I did have a dream last night where we had at the end of every aisle of the physical show, like up the aisles between the tables, at the front we had a TV on every aisle that showed what was going on, like in those 7 rows on each side, and the designers could pull out their mobile phone and say, "Looking for players." So before you even came in the room, you knew which tables were looking for players. Like,
I like it.
So if anybody wants to sponsor us for 12, 40 to 50-inch televisions, and some networking gear and a small form factor PC to run it all in a convention setting, sponsors at unpub.net.
Yeah.
But I was just imagining the possibilities.
Just one TV we could start with, and that would still be really nice.
Well, that was the plan for Unpub 10 was going to actually have all digital signage. So there would be a TV at each entrance that could run ads. Also have the map of the hall with what designers were which table that particular day. Run the schedule, all that stuff. That was the plan, and then plans are for suckers. So, but yeah, I saw just all the possibilities that could come even beyond the digital. But it was funny because there was feedback that we had received, through email and different things that, hey, it's awesome the way the program's set up. We're glad we have something. We're glad we have the game design, or the game information. But is there possibly a way to make it more readable? And then Heather and Tam were like, "Oh, we've been working on this thing we didn't tell you about, but guess what we're using tomorrow?" And it's like, this is everything we needed, and we didn't even know. But we're all, having, just people that do is awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I could do that Google Sheet to integration within that time, so I didn't want to promise anything, so I kept it in the wraps.
Daniel says that plans are not for people who mix 7 types of M&Ms together. Just so you know.
Yeah, well, this one's a fudge brownie.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because of the color.
Okay. I don't look. I just
Well, no, I looked at that one, but yeah. I've got
licorice.
Too many.
Yeah.
I know what colors they are too, so I know this can't
that's
be
why
a
you
Cocoa
can't
Crisp
look.
one. I don't think I've had a cheesecake one yet, or if I have, it just tastes like white chocolate, and it's disappointing. I mean, white chocolate's disappointing on its own.
It is.
But
the 2 Christmas flavors were so bad. That's
sugar cookie was really disappointing.
It was so bad, and then the peppermint one was peppermint but with white chocolate, and that's don't do that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, there were no more of that.
I hope M&M's is listening right now.
I actually saved one of those Halloween Cocoa Crisps once, and it's actually a dark chocolate. Not dark for Daniel. Say
Right.
he's like 70% or better. It's like M&M's dark, so it's like 45%.
Yeah.
But it's definitely darker, and it just has Cocoa Krispies inside it, and it's so much
sounds
better than the
delightful.
sugar cookie. But it's the same texture at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So Tam, you want to talk about the texture of your plantains?
How are those?
Well, so actually, I have the spicy and the non-spicy currently
Okay.
mixed in here, because if I just eat spicy, it's just too much for me. I can't handle it. But so it's a little bit of, am I going to get a spicy? Or am I just going to get regular? And
You
regular
are
is
playing with
good when you get spicy once in a while.
That's a key lime, and like the key lime. It's key lime because it just has that sour.
Yeah.
Again, it's white chocolate, so it's not even. It's just sugar and fat.
Is it like the
And
creamsicle
sour.
ones, but just lime instead of orange?
Yes, it's that white chocolatey. Yeah,
Okay.
just like
Because
creamy
those are
fat.
awful. You sent me way
Yeah.
too many of those.
Well, I'm sorry that I sent you a thing so you could enjoy disappointment with the rest of us.
Thank you.
Well, I long for the days when we can go back to dipping our hands into the bowl of snacks at a
Could
con.
you imagine putting your hand in a bowl of snacks that a stranger put their hand in and then putting it in your mouth?
Look,
Like, that's terrifying.
I'm gonna have to make little gift bags for trust issues at a con.
Yeah.
And even then, it's like I feel like no, seriously, I poured these right in and I didn't touch them. I
promise I didn't touch them. I had gloves on. We could do like those little boxes that raisins come in,
Mhm.
like Nonepub brand, a box of terrible things to put in your mouth.
When we were testing some of the early postcard games for Button Shy, one of the ones Matthew O'Malley had one that was essentially go fish with candy.
Yeah.
And so the way I always tested it is I would always go to a convention. I'd be like, do you want a booster pack or draft? Like I've got the 1 pound bag of M&Ms and we can pick our colors. Or do you want the booster pack? I'll give you 2 fun size bags and that's just what you've got. And the booster pack ended up always winning out. Even then, even before and this is for Sarah Trice.
Yeah.
Who asked she wants a GIF of it.
It's a good flail.
But Ben, do you have? I see that you said working in a hotel puts you off of communal bowls of snacks. What do you do for a game night though? Do you have communal bowls? Do you have the Doritos out there? Or do you make everybody bring their own bag? How do you do it?
Well, I'm just going to have the communal bowl, I think, for my game nights.
Like if you didn't trust them in your house, if you didn't trust them to eat your M&Ms, you wouldn't bring them into your house.
Right, exactly.
I usually have like a big bowl, but then I give everybody like little paper plates. You guys can't see that I'm going like this. And so then you from the big bowl, serve yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't leave tongs out. So you're still getting your hands in there a little.
I wouldn't have enough tongs for that. I think we might have 3 pairs of tongs total.
How many kinds of chips are you handing out?
Well, how many different Duosa flavors are they going to come out with every year? At least three flavors of Dorito.
Yeah.
Because I need to make sure that Kimberly can have some.
Yeah.
And there are some she can't have.
Oh, we're zoomed in on Ben now. It's serious.
It's just me.
It was just
serious Dorito time. Serious Dorito time.
This is super fancy editing work, Chris.
I like it. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have to tip the editor later.
But no, so I mean, in the chat, I don't know. Does anybody have any questions about Nonepub? We've a lot of talk about using chopsticks with Doritos, using food that can only be, only use toothpicks with food. Little bags of chips. Everybody gets a little bag. And yeah, like Kimberly said, sweet chili is not gluten friendly or gluten free friendly. Sorry, it is very gluten friendly. That's the problem. But yeah, I found that out because I asked, because it was like, these are on super sale. I'm buying 5 bags for the weekend. Can you have them?
They're good though.
So, but no, I'm super excited for this convention. I'm glad that we're able to do it again. We were speaking almost immediately afterwards about redoing it, and we felt like this was the right time for it.
Hmm.
We started making plans to put this in the regular rotation, in and amongst, when conventions do come back after for Sarah Trice again. We do intend to continue doing this because there's that opportunity there, to stay in touch without the cost, to stay in touch without the travel, to stay in touch when those things would be the hindering factor, and still provide things. And I think there's things like, to the work you've done, Tam, that we can incorporate into a live show that probably never would have happened. I don't think we've ever had speed pitching at our live shows. We've helped out in capacities at other people's shows, but I think that's something we might be able to bring into our live show that we've never had before. And I think there's ways the two can cross paths. I think there's ways that we could do panels and work to stream them for people that can't be at the live show, but also possibly have panels with remote guests. And I think it just takes all of us figuring out what that is, and moving forward. And I'm super excited to see what that brings over the next, however many years.
Right. Yeah, definitely bringing in remote guests and attendees. I would love to have a live feed of the convention where anybody can just come in and say hi to somebody, like a little booth or something where you can talk to a designer from across the world, and they can see what's going on. That would be another cool thing that we could do.
Yeah, it took getting here. I mean, we talked a little bit earlier. I mentioned that Unpub started in Police Benevolent Association hall, and then moved to VFW, then moved to a Christian school cafeteria, then moved from there to the Baltimore Convention Center, which was very convention center, and all the after night activities happened off site. You know what I mean? And then I moved from there to Hunt Valley, where it's been currently, which is it's a more intimate show. We have the same amount of space at the convention center, but we don't lose the space at night. We don't get kicked out at 11:45 or have to pay a guard. People can hang out. And I think this is part of the next evolution of Unpub as an organization and as the events we run. And so I'm looking forward to the future and everything that it can bring. So, we can get some creepy horse pictures if you really want them. I'll see what I can do. I will post some in the Discord over the course of the weekend. I'll work with Chris, and we'll just have random flashes interspersed into the panels, just like, one frame. We'll figure something out.
Mm-hmm.
I have some where it's a horse, but then the teeth are for a dog, and it's really upsetting. I can send you those if you want.
So for those that don't know, the hotel that we've held Unpub at for the past few years has all the rooms have horse photos, and it's not like, oh look, there's somebody riding a horse. It's like weird angle of a horse's face, bunch of saddles, wireframe horse, and it's just everywhere, and you can't avoid it. Every room has it, multiple photos, and so it's just become the horse hotel, and it's just part of the joke and the lore and the fun.
We have a lot of fun here.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Trust Issues exists.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Family Dinner exists. That's why, Nonepub exists, because I made a joke and somebody decided it could be real. And a bunch of people said yes, and so we had a thing in the fall. And then more people said yes. And now we have a technomancer and a counselor of coin. And we have a fucking Heather.
We really do.
That's the new Unpub slogan. We have a Heather.
You owe Daniel a diner cake still also.
I do owe him a diner cake, but we got to figure out how and when. Diner cake's a whole different story and tradition, but it is when I think it might be officially when I solidified my friendship with Daniel Newman, and it's been and it's only happened once, but it's an ongoing joke for 4 or 5 years now, and that's the type of thing you can get at live conventions that I hope we can try to replicate in a online convention, but I don't know if we're there yet. Is just those things that happen. That road trip to get pretzels where you stop at a dollar store. Just all sorts of crazy stuff like those. We don't have that yet. And I'm hoping to get there. So, and you're all helping make that happen. And of all the attendees. Right now. Yep. So,
do you want to say hi? Come here.
What's your cat's name?
Which one?
So I have the little one that was here earlier is named Violet, but right now there is a giant, 14-pound orange monster trying to decide if she wants to come over here or not. Hi. You good? Okay. Maybe later. She's very lazy.
Apparently, we're stealing the 9th level slogan with "We have a Heather."
Well, it's ours now.
They'll have to fight us for it.
Yeah. So, as Chris just mentioned, the Unpub, the Haba Game Jam. So, Unpub members of the Unpub team, Jay Treat and Danielle Reynolds and Heather O'Neill, because we have a Heather. And now I have to go back and look at the panel because I scrolled. And Ian Zhang. I love Ian Zhang. Play Dead Last with Ian Zhang at a convention late at night if you ever get the chance. It is an experience to experience. I can't describe it any better than that, but it's an experience to experience. They're going to be coming up here in 7 minutes, and we learned out what the restrictions are going to be for the game jam, and they're going to spend about an hour trying to come up with a game or work their way through some quick pitching and whatnot to get to some semblance of a game to give those attendees that are participating in the Haba Game Jam kind of something to maybe prompt them or get them going or give them an idea. So that's what's coming up next. And then after that tonight, we follow that up with Nonepub After Dark. That's going to have Slap a theme on it. We're going to take a bunch of games and see if maybe we can propose different themes, especially for games where maybe the theme isn't even integral to the game at all. We're expecting a lot of antics. We're expecting a lot of shenanigans during that panel. Chris O'Neill will be on that panel with Monique Bishop, Ben Moy, and Crystal Dax. So again, that's coming up after the Nonepub versus the Game Jam panel. So super excited for those for the rest of the night. And then we've got panels tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, and we got the play testing and the reserve block start tomorrow as well. Open play testing is going until then, and we're looking forward to hanging out with everybody and seeing what everybody has to offer. Did either of you have anything to add? Do you want to share how people can find you on the interwebs?
No. Don't at me. No, I'm just excited to play test some games this weekend. I'll be around just doing a play test.
Disappointing sugar cookie. But the big problem is that I put a little, a couple of each in this bowl, but I still have full bags of these out there. Mm-hmm. That's the real problem.
Yep.
Sorry. Tam, did you want to?
Oh, yeah. So try out the new Earshot events calendar, and I'll look into, you may be having some slow speeds, which I believe it's a DNS issue, and I'm going to just contact the hosting service right after this, and I think that'll be resolved. So But if you have any thoughts or if you ran into any issues, just send me a message either in Discord or you can also find me on Twitter at tam@play, TAMATPLEY.
Awesome. And I'm Ben. I'm some fat kid on Twitter. That's SUM fat kid. If you see me at a convention, normally I'm the fat guy in the pink shirt. It makes me easy to find across a room, and it's worked out pretty well for my brand. If you want to enjoy some diner cake or playing games late at night with Ian Zhang or disappointing sugar cookie, feel free to reach out. But that's all we have. So, yes, Daniel Newman, I also wear a purple shirt sometimes when I want to be the grimace and steal your milkshake. But everybody be safe. Everybody be awesome. And make sure you take some time to be the mayor in your own community.
It's true.
All right.
Have fun,
We'll see you
guys.
Good night.
I'm waiting for it to stop being broadcast.